everybody, welcome back to WWE 12 Universe. I'm your host Jitch, and you are watching the 8th to last episode of this season. Just 2 more ECWs, 3 more SmackDowns, 2 more Raws, and an Extreme Rules to go.
The following contest is for the Intercontinental Championship. Introducing the challenger from Hollywood, California, weighing 252 pounds, David A-List Otunga.
Well, John Morrison has laid down the challenge. He has said, you want to take the Intercontinental title off of me before my contract expires, and I take the championship with me? You've got 3 weeks to get it done. So here tonight, David Otunga has been given the task of taking the Intercontinental Championship off John Morrison. There is basically a bounty on Morrison's head right now. Get that title off of him. And, I mean, realistically, there's no reason for them to strip him of the championship. He's not done anything that would violate any rules that would require them to relinquish the title from him. And due to the respect of the championship, he can only ever really lose it via pinfall or submission.
His opponent from Los Angeles, California, weighing 224 pounds, he is the Intercontinental Champion, John Morrison.
I honestly can't tell you what day he's up to right now, but Elimination Chamber, he was 140 days into his reign, so I believe John Morrison has got to be around the 200-day mark as Intercontinental Champion right now. One of the, I think, the longest reign we have ever seen across any championship of any brand ever is John Morrison with that Intercontinental Championship. And he has agreed that he will compete, he will let them try to take it from him, but no matter who they throw his way, he is going to become, he's going to leave, still the Intercontinental Champion as far as he's concerned. Fans aren't too fond of John Morrison right now because of his behavior. Obviously, he's walking out on a lot of people, and he's taking the championship with him if he can help it. There's not an apologetic bone in his body. John Morrison is doing what John Morrison wants to do. In a way, I must say, I really do respect it. David Otunga, maybe not the best idea for who to throw out to him, but ECW management sees potential in Otunga and they want to give him that opportunity here tonight. At one point he was a top contender for the United States title last year. I feel like a change of brand can do real good things for some people. I mean, John Morrison certainly didn't start out great on Monday Night Raw, but when he moved to SmackDown he became a star. Morrison threatening to leave the business with his championship.
Here we go. This match will not
You know, he's not going to hold back on anyone. We saw an incredible title defense from John Morrison back at WrestleMania against Ted DiBiase, a man who has refused to appear. We were originally scheduled to have Ted DiBiase's ECW return as our next match of the night, but unfortunately Ted DiBiase has not shown up tonight to the building as he continues to refuse to be a part of Tuesday nights again. He says he's not going through that hell again. So Ted DiBiase will not be celebrating his grand homecoming to the brand that kind of made him a star. He refuses to do so, so I don't really know what to say. We do have some very important news, but rather than just dropping it on you as news, we can show the footage of what went down last night after Randy Orton defeated Cody Rhodes, Shawn Michaels, and Kevin Nash to become number 1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Be sure to show you that soon.
Morrison's like an acrobat, the way he can just throw himself around the ring. And that one hurt his hand.
Off the ropes, and Morrison just laying into David Otunga. As I say, he's not going to hold back. I can tell you that now. John Morrison is not going to have any sympathy, any regard for David Otunga in this matchup. He doesn't care about ECW. He doesn't care about the Intercontinental Championship being kept within the business. He wants to leave this company with a championship that he feels he has made the most relevant title across all brands. And obviously, as the most successful defending champion, you've got to agree with that.
Spine first.
There has never been a more successful champion than John Morrison.
John Morrison is so
He's also
tough,
really
ready,
clumsy though sometimes and doesn't connect with a single move.
and high flying.
Big time main event tonight as a tournament to determine the new contender for the ECW Championship begins. We'll be seeing a one-on-one matchup tonight between Dolph Ziggler and Eddie Guerrero. Next week on ECW, a one-on-one collision between Mark Henry and Stone Cold Steve Austin. The winner of those two matches will face off in the third and final ECW before Extreme Rules to determine who will be contender for Mick Foley's ECW title.
WWE has ever seen it, and they don't know how to counter it. David Otunga is really utilizing his size and strength tonight. John Morrison spending more time on his mat work because we know he's an honor student as far as high flying is concerned.
Okay.
Okay, what do you think David A-List Otunga needs to do now?
Stop being David A-List Otunga. Catches him off the ropes, and I don't know why he does a springboard leg drop. I mean, a drop kick to people laying on the floor. You don't drop kick people when they're flat on the ground. That doesn't really work.
It's a big fight feel here in this arena. The WWE Universe hanging on every move.
Morrison heading up top as he connects with a big moonsault. At least I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah. David Otunga getting absolutely schooled by the defending Intercontinental Champion. SmackDown almost admitting defeat as they try to take the European title from Raw at Extreme Rules. John Morrison really doesn't care if he wins this match by countout or not.
See people looking at the hair and physique of John Morrison and maybe thinking that this guy's all flat. But there's a lot
David
of
Otunga charging over. Going with the shoulder tackle. John Morrison catches it. Oh, wow. Beautifully executed reversal into his finishing move there. And I think we've already seen the end of this one. Yep. Well, you now got 2 weeks to try and get the Intercontinental Championship away from John Morrison. Best of luck to everyone on ECW in trying to do just that. John Morrison, still your Intercontinental Champion, and he will continue to be for 3 weeks if he can help it. He is leaving the business with that title as far as he's concerned. I can't argue with the facts right now. John Morrison is still the champion. We move towards our next match of the night. As I said originally, Ted DiBiase is supposed to debut. We've got some very important footage to show you of what went down after Randy Orton was named the new contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Well, this went down just moments after Randy Orton was named the new #1 contender to the World Heavyweight Championship. He had come out the main doors of the exit from the arena when he was greeted by one Big Show, who had come out of a locker room door. As you can see right there, it says locker room. He had come out of a locker room door, and clearly someone had decided it was time to take back their Hardcore Championship. The Big Show appearing on Monday night. This is officially a championship match as of Monday, not today on ECW. We're only showing you the footage today on ECW of a Hardcore Championship match that went down. I will not spoil the outcome, but I will say that Big Show took it upon himself to take a little trip to Monday night's Raw.
That's not good.
Here, where we record ECW is fairly close by. The mysterious location of ECW is fairly close by to, I think it was California or something. We recorded Monday Night Raw, and Big Show snuck up on him. Yeah, that's right. It was a big old trap. Made it look like he'd run away. No such thing. Randy Orton and the Big Show back and forth backstage on Monday's Raw. It's kind of strange to think what you're watching right now has already gone down. Congrats to Randy on becoming contender for the World Heavyweight Champion. This is your reward from the Big Show. You really cannot use any of the weapons that are laid around. They are just there for display. I hear that TV up there was a really big essential part in Big Show's planning. He actually left that there so we could watch as Randy Orton competed. And he waited for him to come backstage.
Great block counter combination displayed there.
Oh, shut up, Cole. I've got to say, this arena seems to have a very similar backstage layout to the last arena we were at. Very uniform, these arenas.
Oh, how is he still on his feet?
We are very close to a very familiar
Oh, man.
window.
How is he still on his feet?
My turn.
My turn. Big Show luring Orton over.
Not today.
Not today. My turn.
My turn.
Orton clearly making sure that didn't happen.
That's glass.
We wouldn't want to see that happen again, that's for sure. That would be bad. We don't need to see anyone go through any windows. But of course, Big Show had to get the last laugh and take back his hardcore title the exact way he lost it. And as you see right there, as it said, Big Show was in fact declared hardcore champion this Monday on Raw. What a thrilling fight that was, I'm sure. As we move towards our main event now, Eddie Guerrero and Dolph Ziggler one-on-one in a mini tournament to determine the next #1 contender for the ECW Championship.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Unfortunately, in Hollywood, 1, 2, 103
Well, Dolph Ziggler comes out here tonight to become an official part of the ECW roster. He tried his hand at being a star over on SmackDown. That didn't work out too well for him. He tried his hand at being a star on Raw, and he is a former US champion, but unfortunately he suffered an injury that took him right out of contention. Here tonight, Dolph Ziggler competes to become ECW World Champion, and I really do feel like ECW is a great land of opportunity, of potential for a lot of stars. People like Big Show, Mick Foley have come over to ECW in the past and become World Champion. Vader as well, World Champion, and of course Jack Swagger as well. Really can be a proving ground of places.
And his opponent, the El Paso
Eddie Guerrero making his way to the ring here tonight as he, again, just like Dolph Ziggler, looks to kind of create opportunity for himself with a brand new home. Guerrero, a former SmackDown superstar. I gotta say, admittedly, he has a lot of love and respect for his former partner Ray, but I think he did kind of live in the shadow of Ray a little bit on SmackDown. Ray went on to become light heavyweight champion. You saw Guerrero come out and celebrate that victory for him, but that was kind of the end of it, really. Whereas now that he's here on ECW, there's nothing stopping him. Sky's the limit for Eddie Guerrero. Well, shall we get this match going? Eddie Guerrero, Dolph Ziggler truly has the potential to be a fantastic matchup after all. Two greats, no doubt about it. Two people that I feel a lot of people think have been very heavily unused. Let's see how they do when they're thrown into the center of the ring against each other for the first time, I think, ever. I don't believe these two have ever clashed in this series. I'm not talking about anything else. Calm down. People always tell me, oh no, they did clash. I mean, I don't actually think Dolph Ziggler and Eddie Guerrero will have ever wrestled, to be fair. I think the Spirit Squad, when he was Nikki and he first appeared on WWE TV, I think that debuted just after Eddie had passed, so I don't think these two ever actually did have a match, to be fair. unless it was like in the indies or like Eddie went down the developmental one day. You know, someone will be out there trying to prove me wrong. I'm aware, don't worry. My favorite one is when I say like I'll say like Dolph Ziggler's a former United States champion, and someone will be like, but he's also a former Intercontinental champion, and he held the tag titles once before, and he held the World Heavyweight champion for a little while. And I was like, I'm talking about universe. I'm not talking about actual Dolph Ziggler. I'm talking about the Pixel Man in front of you. I'm not comparing him to the real Dolph Ziggler. All these people are just babies that were just birthed into wrestling. They have no prior background at all, none. They're all in their peak performance. They're all fresh wrestlers. They're all brand new. You know, Sting could come into the WWE in the next episode and he'd be a brand new rookie who would absolutely get an opportunity because he's at his fucking peak, because it's a video game and everyone can be at their peak all the time. It's not real. They're allowed to do as good as I seed them to do. That didn't make any sense. Because I've had a lot of criticism in the past of like, oh, you're pushing, I'm trying to think of like a good example. You're pushing Randy Savage and having him defeat Daniel Bryan. Oh, Daniel Bryan at this point in time is fantastic. Whereas Randy Savage would be retired. He wouldn't even be any good. And it's like, yeah, but like it's a game, so actually he's Randy Savage at his best, and that's kind of it. It's a game, you know. Obviously, there are certain iterations of characters in games that like I feel you wouldn't push. Like a strong case in point, like I wouldn't push old sack of potatoes Ric Flair, like just old man Ric Flair. But yeah, if they had retro Ric Flair, I'd use him. Absolutely, he'd go pretty far because he was fantastic. But he can suddenly age down. It's a game. If it's 2K15 and there's only old man Ric Flair, I'll use him, but I can't guarantee he'll go very far. But in 2K17, for example, when there's a retro Ric Flair from like the early 90s, mid 80s-ish, like yeah, he's probably gonna be a pretty big deal. It really does just depend. You know, if SVR 2011 had old man Ricky Steamboat instead of young Ricky Steamboat, he probably would have done even worse than he already did, because I didn't really use Ricky Steamboat very much. Like, yeah, obviously, I see where it's appropriate. I'm not fucking blind. I wouldn't push old man Hulk Hogan over young Hulk Hogan. But, like, that's why I just use young Hulk Hogan as an example. And everybody in the games, they always go for their peak. They always go for like when they're at their best. You know, you get this version of Eddie, or you get Eddie from a few years prior. All good. Eddie can beat Dolph. He's just hit him with a second gory bomb. This, oh no! I just realized we know what happens to Guerrero's on ECW. Man, I hope Eddie's got a different fate to his nephew, who we're not allowed to legally name anymore. His nephew who was a former competitor on ECW. To be fair, this one's Eddie. That one was nephew. Nephew's not as good as Eddie, and everybody knows it. And anyone who says that nephew is as good as Eddie, I feel like they just want to disagree with people, basically. I mean, you might genuinely believe it. I ain't telling you you're wrong, but I feel like in a way you probably just want to disagree because everyone loves Eddie. There are definitely people out there that if everybody loves someone, they don't. They'll let you know. Big yawny boy. I'm gonna have a drink. I'll say so far, Dolph Ziggler has just been getting his ass kicked by Eddie Guerrero. I guess a better example of like people I would and wouldn't push is you've probably noticed Daniel Bryan's not really a big main event guy at the moment. Now, I'm not the biggest Daniel Bryan fan on earth anyway, I'll be honest. But, like, I just felt like he was really green around the time this game came out. US champion Daniel Bryan in like 2010 was just kind of plain in my opinion. But that's just me. And that's also not entirely why. The other reason I'm not pushing him is because you can't push everyone. That's a really important one that I don't think a lot of people let sink in at times, is I'll get told off for who I'm not pushing. But simply put, you really cannot push everyone at the same time. There has to be mid-carders, there has to be losers. But I'm in a strong belief, and I noticed WWE have been doing this in recent years too, that a main... Oh! Zigzag! Is that going to be enough? Am I not going to get to finish my statement? No, okay, he kicked out. Yeah, I'm in the strong belief that, and as I say, WWE, they've been doing this recently too, so I'm not even criticizing them when I say it. I'm in the strong belief that a guy can go from being a world champion and like a top guy to a mid-card champion. As I say, they do that nowadays. I feel like they shouldn't hog up the championship divisions all the time. AJ Styles can definitely go without holding a title for a year to make a statement about WWE. I think he actually has most recently, but like, you know, they don't have to be holding something all the time, at least once a year. It's just kind of a rotational system, you know. Batista has just finally won the World Heavyweight Championship, but he could just as easily go into a losing slump and just be on the bottom of the card. Anything's possible. But I also believe you can recover from it. It just depends on how you book it, really, I guess. I don't even know what I'm talking about that much anymore, I'll be completely honest. I'm just kind of spitting out shit. I like the logic behind booking, and I like the idea of being able to use who you want in whatever way you want all the time. It wouldn't work in a real wrestling company, but in a video game company, absolutely. I'm not sure how I feel about Dolph's attire. I think I like it. It was called Zapdos, and I just don't remember what it looked like. But now, obviously, I get it. You guys want to hear something really gross? I got a wisdom tooth coming in and I have to keep picking shit out of it. Disgusting, right? Very uncomfortable. I don't think Eddie knows how to do his finisher, because if I remember right, the AI for the longest time did not know how to do top rope finishers, and I think that's all he's got. Oh no, he also does the brainbuster. So he just primarily does the brainbuster, if I'm not mistaken. I know they're there. Lola told me so. Oh, I just realized Eddie goes away for a bit after 2K14. He wasn't in 15 or 16, and I don't think he was in 17 either. Ooh. I wonder why they do that. I wonder how they decide who gets cut. Because they bring them back occasionally and they'll just take them out. And I wonder how they choose. I get why they take like the Bushwhackers out, because they fucking sucked ass and no one really liked them. But there's a roll up by Dolph. Oh my god! Dolph! Genius way to fight back. That was brilliant. Out of the blue, Dolph Ziggler with a very sudden roll-up and a victory over Eddie Guerrero sets him one step closer to the ECW Championship. Please don't just go black. Please tell me this is actually leading to something. You got 45 seconds, and if all I see is a black screen the whole time, I'm turning the fucking game off. Spoiler alert, I think I'm turning the game off. The fans are cheering like mad and there's nothing happening. This game, it just wants to go out in the worst way possible. I think something was supposed to happen here between Dolph and Eddie. Something like that. I don't really know. But yeah, it's been 30 seconds and it's still black. It's not going to come back. So thanks for watching ECW. Dolph Ziggler advances. Next week, we see Mark Henry and Stone Cold. The winner of that match faces Dolph Ziggler in a contenders match for Mick Foley's ECW Championship, which will be on the line at Extreme Rules. I can't wait to see what goes down then. I'll see you guys next time. Sorry about the technical difficulties. This game fucking blows. Bye.